POV, realizing you need to push a whole African baby. Mind you, the baby half Filipina, but she's saying pushing out a whole African baby. Nika Diwa is a race play, Tubi brand, man, all lives matter mom influencer that is breeding babies for clout, and it's all disguised as an interracial family channel that advocates for mental health. I can't make this, but please send the flood. Thousands of people watched a child play with a vibrator that her ma set up.
That was racist, right?
There's an element of racism.
I wanna die. Dogs say there's an element of racism. Had this been another girl, it would have been a problem. This is essentially grooming. Y'all really don't care about groomers. Y'all only care about gay grooming. This child getting passed around like a blunt. But there's something far more insidious about this family channel that nobody is talking about. But we talking about it today, because we tackling the tawdry tale of Nika Diwa on today's Foreign Friday.
It's a foreign man in a foreign land.
POV, realizing you need to push a whole African baby. Mind you, the baby half Filipina, but she's saying pushing out a whole African baby.
Afternoon. What can I do for you?
I need to buy a gun.
During Black History Month, indeed, bad bird. Lord, kill the pain. This is bad, but it's just the beginning. Disclaimer, of course, there will be no racism inside the chat from anybody except me. I could be mostly dealing with Nika, but I gotta deal with you first, bro. You's a backup dancer in a TikTok that racially essentializing you and your own unborn child. The slurs that I won't call you ain't even been invented yet. Nika bouncing on the Bozu ball. I'm pro-choice for everyone but these.
Could you ever cheat on me?
Absolutely. That's why I don't make dumb.
The gas that this man making in the background is already putting this video up there with Dahman.
Decisions like talking to guys one-on-one or hanging out in like compromising situations. I'm a human being, you're a human being.
If Shorty's saying that her being in proximity with other man them is enough to make her cheat, then my brother in Christ, I go hold your hand when I say this, she was gonna do it anyway.
And I'm sorry, babe, I don't know if this is hard for you to hear, but everybody is
Dog fake crying in the background too, raw, like.
absolutely capable of infidelity in the right/wrong circumstances.
Oh, okay.
That's why boundaries are so important. You're never going to see me in a situation, even if people think I might be too strict, I don't care because I'm not taking that chance.
Amen.
I'm not putting myself in a position to even be close to a position to potentially fall to temptation. I'm going to keep it 100 because anyone is capable of cheating, but I will not be cheating on you.
Excellent. I love that.
I love you.
What's your inspiration?
You can do that for me?
How was your day today?
Oh my goodness, it was hectic. Yeah, I lost a nail.
Is this your mommy?
Well, sort of. I call her mommy.
You know, there's a nuance to this. This is cute and endearing, and it shows that the man isn't afraid of putting himself in situations and predicaments that make him seem less masculine. At the same time, it's very interesting that his brand of femininity is to parody black women, even though like he's not dating a black woman. Like, I mean, like, how is it that they get, like, what is their reference point for this? Like, the head motions and the jives are straight out of like a Tyler Perry, straight out of an Eddie Murphy, which is hilarious given that this is an interracial relationship between a Nigerian man and a Filipino woman.
Like, control it sometimes, and it's like I still have to be a mom. Like, it doesn't stop. Like, I can't, and I don't want her to see me.
But she is. That's kind of the problem. I'm a husband. I'm a father. Postpartum is ruthless. I just did a documentary on mental health that y'all should watch after this, but I applaud the effort of bringing these discussions surrounding mental health as a woman of color to the forefront. However, as we will see, there's a problem with the type of activism or advocacy that Nika is doing. Your child, especially at this age, is not your confidant. Your child at this age is not your therapist. Child being therapist to parent, the parentification of children.
I feel sad sometimes because I feel like I'm not a good mama.
Hey, Mama. You're not gonna be Mama.
You shouldn't be telling your child that you don't feel like a good parent, because then the child thinks that they're not being a good child. I don't think it looks like this, and if it does look like this, I don't think that most people having a mental breakdown have a camera in front of them. At a particular point, you begin to wonder if she's advocating for like the normalization and awareness of mental health or parodying it like on some old school Filthy Frank type in front of the stylist is wild. If I was the hairdresser, you was gonna have to pay me for that. This is probably the most mild thing on my list of issues with the content. It's more performative than a Macklemore song. It's all a performance.
I speak generational. Curse is broken over this child. No more is she gonna wonder if she's enough. She's gonna be a warrior. She's gonna be an advocate for women everywhere.
What if the child didn't want to be an advocate for women anywhere? Exactly, Ali. What if she tried?
She's gonna be in danger. Why? Because we already know what she needs. We know she needs an epi. There's literally within 10 minutes of anywhere in Houston, there's a hospital.
Maybe being a creator has made me jaded. All I could think of is the fact that y'all going an prophylactic shock. And instead of you trying to save your child, find an EpiPen or something, fuck a duck, you could say that this is an appropriate time for me to save my tears so that I could get my camera and cry on camera. This is the mild stuff. If this was an iceberg, this could just be the tip.
If you ask mommy and I say no, whatever mommy says, daddy's gonna stand by that. If you ask daddy, he's gonna say the same thing. He's gonna say whatever your mom says. If you ask daddy something and he says no, if you come and ask me, I'm gonna say, what did your daddy say?
Notice that the child is crying in the background, right? Even if it ain't. I have a child, like I know, like they understand how to game you after a while. That's fine, because he's a child and that's all that he know how to get my attention with. He has only made the correlation that, oh, if I do this, if I choke or if I cry, then parent comes. Regardless if it's this urgent life or death situation, is a need. And children need to know that their needs are valid. This face is communicating to me as a child that you don't take my needs seriously.
Because I trust what your dad says, and your daddy trusts me.
So Zizi, you're not in trouble.
You're not in trouble.
Just trying to teach you.
Yeah.
Whatever mommy says, daddy's gonna support.
Blood! Oh God! You hear your child crying, blood. And you could smile like it's almost cartoon villain blood. If she had a mustache, she would be twirling it.
Whatever daddy said, mommy's gonna support.
Ah, God, no, man.
So you don't have to waste your time.
Father, Shorty saying, don't waste your time crying or telling your daddy, cause it don't matter.
Just ask one parent.
We just cut off your angle.
Ah, God, man. This is the mild stuff. And then you have moments like these.
Mommy, were you wrestling with Guy last night?
This is performative and inappropriate.
Mommy, were you wrestling with Guy last night?
Why do you say that?
I heard you say pin me down.
This is voiceover. So obviously they had to record the line. They had to feed the kids the lion's blood. They had to feed you, bro. Raw. Nika and her man go approach her child, who was a toddler, and say, read this script that have more sexual innuendo than a Family Guy episode. Oh God. Since we're on a topic of inappropriateness, please brace yourself, because this, I don't know what possesses two parents to do this. I don't even know how TikTok have this up. Let me read this out for you. Talking to my child about boundaries and private parts. Got the child leg cock all the way back up behind the head. Why am I seeing this?
Is it just me, or is this something that is not something that should be filmed and put on the internet for nearly now 7 million people to see?
7 million? How many of them? This is TikTok we talking about. So how many of them are sorry, I can't say that on the stream. How many of them are Pedialyte drinkers? For my heart of sight folks, POV. Your toddler found your special drawer.
Zizi, what are you doing? What's in your hand? What's in your hand?
I can hear something.
What's in your hand? What's in?
Oh God.
What's in your? Oh my God! Give that to mommy. Give me up, mommy. Give it to mommy.
No.
What?
Fire and brimstone. Rain upon them. Even she knew it was bad because she took this video down. In a way, the child just naturally stumbled upon that. Going into your drawer, find your vibrator, find your rose stem. And then your reaction is to take the camera and film it. So what I feel like happened, you clean the vibrator, hold the child to get the little and let me record you. That's what you told the child to do. Thousands of people watched a child play with a vibrator that her ma set up. A kid said her beautiful hair looks like worms, in quotation marks. The child just shared a vulnerable, heartbreaking moment with her. And instead of turning off the camera to discuss racism with the child, and hopefully the father, she could check to see if the camera is still recording.
Who said? At school?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry that sometimes people are not kind.
Why is not time, Mama?
I don't know, honey, but you know what? You know what I do know? I know that you have enough kindness for everyone.
Interracial couples whose whole thing is being interracial, they have to hop on this brand of anti-racism, all lives matter type beat.
And you want to know something cool about worms? Like a caterpillar? You know what a caterpillar turns into? A butterfly.
And we see a degree of racial insensitivity like as a theme. Both
When
of
the
them.
sharpest words wanna cut me down.
This making my prostate inflamed, bro. Look at man! Oh God. If someone said that my child was a slave, I would be getting them offline. She's the one exposing her to the racism. So apart from the cringe, you put your child in a position to receive the racism. And instead of insulating them from the racism, you put a spotlight on them and then film their reaction to the racism in a cringe dramatization for TikTok. Bro. No, these are actual comments. Yeah, you could see that like they have like names in them.
I'm gonna send a fly, gonna drown them out.
You know, this really pissing me off. Oh God. It's really pissing me off. This ain't getting you laid nor paid. You subjecting your child and you subjecting yourself to racism abound, and you smiling with it. I can't believe my eyes. There's some shucking and jiving that I haven't seen since Amos and Andy, my man. You have a pepper and salt bed and you cooning. Like, I don't get it.
This young couple was sitting at a restaurant with me and my family, and Mecca was inside ordering, and the girl in the couple starts a conversation with me and is really kind, looks close to my age. She's a white girl who's blonde, and so she's asking questions about me and our family, finds out that, you know, my husband is from Nigeria and that we were in the Philippines for the last 4 years. At which point she says, "Oh wow, that's a lot of colored people."
A person comes up to them and makes the declaration that, wow, that's a lot of colored people in Nigeria. And you have any question if that's racist? She then looks to old boy to get the answer, right? What do you think his answer's gonna be?
She kind of laughed it off, like she literally goes, "Wow, that's a lot of colored people." No, I'm just kidding. And then just keeps on telling her stories. That was racist, right?
It sounds like there's an element of racism.
I wanna fucking die. Why am I still alive? Oh, dogs say there's an element of racism. There's just a hand sanitizer drink. There's a concept of racism in it.
And that, like, why would a person say something like that unless they were affected by the institution?
Chad, is this how I sound when I'm being like overly verbose and trying to overcomplicate something that is really simple? Is that how I sound? Because I'll stop. Just a dollop of racism. Because my boy just tried to intellectualize racism just now.
Why would a person say something like that unless they were affected by the institution?
Yeah.
At some point, she
This obviously works in tech.
recognized that there was something, you know, something off about what she said, and she laughed about it. But there's still like a bunch of questions. These are
You see, he got questions.
questions I want to put to you guys here.
Oh my God, the nigga asked y'all. He say, "Hey, white people, do you think this is racist?" He can say, "Hey, whites, palm-colored people, what do you think I can't believe these man. They could have only been in Boston during Black History Month, Leon. He said it's not my place to say.
Like, was that an attempt at prejudice?
Oh, God. Even she ashamed of it. Even she looking at it like, wow, I ain't gonna lie. I didn't know you was cooning like that.
Was she? Maybe she even meant like saying, oh, that's a lot of colorful people.
I don't want to be here anymore. And I mean it. Because what's the point? Stop the world. I want to get off. It's not fun anymore. And I'm gonna throw up. Bring me the sweet release of death. This Green Lantern looking pissing me off, bro. These the type of that would volunteer for slavery. These the fellas that when Frederick Douglass was trying to tell to read, he was like, why? And Lincoln was saying, you know what? Let my people go or some shit. I don't know. He was like, why? This ain't even one of the good ones though, Sam. Like, even white people would find this offensive. Even racists would be all like, God damn, you ain't leaving enough racism for the rest of us. There's no way that I could top this. Even Klansmen. Also, racial inaccuracy here.
What's up, man?
What this even mean? What's up, my kneesy? No black person says, like, that's like for shizzle my nizzle. Racist medical misinfo. This way worse than RFK Jr. Black folks do need sunscreen, and we need it more maybe because black attracts heat. How I cured my baby's eczema in 24 hours.
The pediatrician told me that my daughter has eczema, and I asked what can we do, and she basically said, just keep rubbing lotion. I did my own research and found out that a huge reason my babies have eczema is because they are allergic to dairy. So I switched her formula to Nutramigen. In 24 hours, her eczema was cured.
Anytime, like when you see people talking about like, do your research, it's a dog whistle for I'm going to subject someone to something that is extremely dangerous that I found online.
Hi, my name is Dr. Rubin. I'm a board-certified pediatric allergist. This is for general educational purposes only, not specific medical advice, but I would be careful when considering eliminating a food in a baby's diet to help treat eczema. The reason being is that many babies who have this, it may not actually be beneficial and could be potentially harmful. So we are learning over time that delayed introduction or eliminating foods in infants' diets could increase the development of food allergies.
Shorty gonna bring back deficiencies in children. Looking for a mama who won't judge me for being preggo and enjoying a glass every once in a while.
Yes, it is true that pregnant individuals get judged for just about anything in pregnancy that you could possibly think of. But there is one thing that's for certain, and that is that there is no known safe amount of alcohol to consume in pregnancy.
Medical misinfo and now child endangerment. Bringing me to probably my biggest problem. I was having an anxiety attack because my baby wouldn't stop screaming. And this lady asked if she could hold her to give me a break. The literal mummification of a random black woman on a train. You having an anxiety attack, but you ain't anxious enough to film. And then you will see the woman tapping the child mouth like the way that like they used to be racially parodying Native Americans in old slapstick comedy, and you don't take your child away? Bro, if I see, I mean, granted, I wouldn't be giving my child to a stranger. That's the first part. And you think that could calm the child down? The child is with a stranger. The child is just like, bro, hold on. What is going on? I'm crying and you're not giving me a bottle. You're giving me to a person? Oh God. That I don't know. This is something that they do regularly, so maybe the children are okay with it. Copyright, 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 copyright. This child getting passed around like a blunt. Copyright, copyright, copyright. Copyright, copyright, copyright. In a plane. Ain't nobody got a mask on. Ain't nothing blood. What? Copyright, copyright, copyright. Copyright, copyright, copyright. Copyright, copyright, copyright. This girl passing her child around like the one black person at a swinger party.
Raise a toast to the girl I love most in the whole world. Please don't say my name. Please don't say my name. Darla.
Something about this feels like they're telling the children to do this. You see how they're like looking around, like looking for cues? This is what my child does when my child looks around and say, hey, is this okay if I do this?
Please don't say my name. Darla.
Yep. Had this been another girl, it would have been a problem. This is essentially grooming. Y'all really don't care about groomers. Y'all only care about gay grooming. If you go in the comment section, everybody's just like, oh, that's so cute. Racism over.
No, the factory. No, it's a factory. It's a factory.
Mom, why do you keep making this little white boy kiss me? Now, I ain't gonna lie. Like, I have to get on y'all at the Nika Diwa subreddit because I don't think this man's name is Shrek. Who's most important? Your mom, our daughter, or me?
Your mom, your daughter, me. Go.
It's my wife. I mean, you're my other half, so wife is always first, right? But then my responsibility actually is to my daughter's well-being, right? Because everything that I do and you do that happens with you and me shapes and molds who our daughter is.
So she's second, is what you're saying.
She ain't even trying to hear all of that. She's just like, okay, but like, so she's not. So she ain't on my level though. That's what you're saying. You know, like notice that like she ain't shake her head or nothing while he was saying, you know, but like I should prioritize my daughter, you know, but like he was just like, all right, but get to the part like where you say it's me though.
Shapes and molds who our daughter.
Sure, you look irritated by it.
So she's second, is what you're saying.
She's second. She's inherently second, just because to honor you properly, I gotta honor, like you know that honor sort of transfers to daughter, and then it's mom. Like mom has already lived a full life. You know, she's already received.
Dog can say, my mom already lived a full life, and she got bust out laughing. If I had said that about my ma, my wife would be all like, how the hell are you talking about your ma like that? 1. 2, that should communicate to you how he could treat you. Big up Lindsay Ellis up inside the chat.
Their blessings and stuff. So what kind of person would I be if I'm giving her extra too much? She already got her fair share.
No, you can't. I'm not gonna post that.
What's that?
But you did post it though. When you cook, who do you serve first? Your wife, mother, or children? Who do you feel comes first? The family you created or the family you came from?
This girl is supremely important. 100 out of 100, she's important. But this girl, from my standpoint, is even more important to me.
Why?
She multiple times has put her child and her mother-in-law on Olympic podium stands.
Well, my responsibility is first to my wife. There's no time where pouring into you is less important than pouring into this one. There's nobody who's going to get more grace, more love, more attention from me than you.
I don't even know if this is supposed to be a white guy. Is it supposed to be like a biracial guy? Oh God. Someone said that that's 90s Justin Timberlake. Y'all are unhinged. Y'all need to be stopped. Honestly, it's been 0 days since interracial family channels have been able to be normal. Oh God. 0 days. The counter is at 0. Every time we stray just a little bit further away from the straight and narrow path. Essentially bringing us to the denouement of the entire situation, where they got into an argument over Christmas. If your husband asked if he could skip Christmas Day with the family to watch a football game, how would you react?
Being with me on Christmas, first of all. Knowing to ask if I would be okay with you not being with me on Christmas, first of all.
And I think that this encapsulates not only them, but I want to extrapolate this and apply this to like a much larger scourge that is the content farm of family channels. What you're seeing right here is a descent into depravity that is unique to family and vlogging channels in a way that I don't really see in many different genres. You've seen the Resilient Jenkins, you've seen the Passport Bro and the Filipino wife, and now you've seen the Filipino wife and this man. Oh God. And the theme is that the audience or the people, the bystanders, collateral damage of this entire war is always the people watching. And they use that as a way, not only for inflating their own bottom line, but also to educate their own emotional trauma. And they extend it to you. And you have to now educate their disputes. You are referee in their wrestling matches. Wrong choice of words given one of the TikToks that was shown earlier.
Mommy, were you wrestling with Guy last night?
Knowing how important that holiday is to me. And 2, going somewhere with your
and Shorty crying. Like, I do believe that she is an actor in the finest, like a thespian, but Shorty is crying. Snot-nosed tears.
brothers just without me to watch football. My feelings are extremely hurt.
Well, I'm sorry that your feelings are hurt.
That's not an apology.
I'm hoping
I really thought you knew me better than that.
I'm hoping that we can talk and that I can gain a deeper understanding.
It is because that holiday means a lot to me. Yeah. Quality time means a lot to me. Yep. Togetherness means a lot to me. And so the fact that you'd rather be at a football game knowing, or I thought you knew that about your wife.
It sounds like Christmas is actually more important than me.
I don't understand. The man say, sounds like Christmas is more important than me.
And that's what it sounds like. Like you're saying, Christmas is important than my husband. I do not have a desire to do anything that will either hurt you or deride in any way your expectation for Christmas.
Boy is trying to intelligently in the marketplace of ideas break down the politics of Christmas and the reason why I should be able to spend time with the homies on Christmas. Essentially, they've just documented what is a dysfunctional family and probably given CPS, if they were to do their job, which we know that they won't, given CPS a bevy of documentation of what is a good reason to take these children away. But we've seen your Ruby Frankies, we've seen Resilient Jenkins, we've seen family channels at large, and I haven't seen one normal family channel at this point. Chat, let me know if there are some, but I don't know none.